Hi everyone, it's Liz with Real Girl Beauty, and today I have for you a generalized product line review from the store Primark. Now Primark is actually a British store. It is a UK based retail store. They carry women's clothes, men's clothes, baby clothes, little kid clothes. They carry shoes, accessories, houseware stuff. They have a ton of things. Actually, that's where I bought the blanket that I've been using as the background for my thumbnails, was from Primark. We just got one a year ago here where I am, and it's awesome. I haven't worn or bought as much clothes for myself from there. My son has quite a few pieces. My husband has a couple. One of the things I've been so eager to do is test out the skincare and makeup that Primark sells, because they do. They sell their own line. They also sell, I think it was Wet n Wild and Rimmel, and there might have been another one in there. But they have these giant displays. They have a ton of products, and I thought, you know what? Everything there is so darn inexpensive. It was something I could actually get as like a large sampling from the line as a whole to give you guys my opinion. So I'm going to crack into this bag and we're going to start looking at products. I'm going to start with talking about the skincare products that I've been able to sample from them. One of my absolute favorites is this Too Faced eye makeup remover. This was only $2.50. It works just as well as any of the much more expensive ones you can even buy at the drugstore, let alone the ones you would get at Sephora, Ulta, or at a makeup counter. You do have to shake it up. As you can see from me here, it is an actual Too Faced one. It can be a tiny bit irritating on your eyes if it gets into your eyes. It kind of burns. I have extremely sensitive eyes, so I have to be very careful that my eyes are completely closed when I'm in there and pulling all my makeup off. But it works fantastically. It takes everything off. It takes waterproof off. I've even used this to take waterproof other makeup off, to take liquid lip off of my mouth. It is that good. I am so thrilled with it. I did test out a couple of tools which I don't actually have out here right now. One of them is a tiny little plastic mitt that you put on your fingers that you clean your brushes with. That worked perfectly. It worked just like I've seen those in other places, and they're usually more money. That was, I want to say, $1 or $2. It works just as well. I tend not to put my fingers in it because it's small and I find that I have a harder time with that. I tend to kind of hold it from the outside and then wash the brush against it. It even works with washing sponges. I have bought sponges for them which are dirt cheap. However, I do not recommend their makeup sponges. They are tough. They're kind of hard. They're not very soft or silky feeling when you're using them. They just were not my type of sponge. I like my sponge to be extremely squishy. I like it to be extremely soft, and they weren't that, so I wouldn't recommend that. I would recommend these massive packages of cleansing wipes. Now, this is a double pack. The double pack is only $2, and they come in different kinds, so if you have other concerns, they have different varieties. For me, it was the sensitive skin ones, because again, my skin is pretty darn sensitive. So these are fragrance free. They take all your makeup off, and I like to use them as step 2. I use eye makeup remover first, then a cleansing towel, and then a micellar water. This is not my favorite micellar water. My favorite is still Garnier. However, I liked this one more than the simple one. I think it does a better job. It has vitamin E and rose water in it, so it smells really rosy. I don't really care about that, but it seemed to do the job without irritating my skin too much. And it's only $3 for this giant bottle. It's called Time to Come Clean. This is 14.5 fluid ounces. So this is just stuff that's so good when you're on a really tight budget, but you want to get some products. That's what this stuff is good for. I tried out 2 lip scrubs. One is this mint chocolate chip one that reminded me a lot of e.l.f. The other is this jar, which is bubblegum flavored. This, I think, was the most shocking product I tried. It comes in this glass jar, and it is these dry granules. It's the most bizarre thing. I am so picky with stuff that comes near my mouth with the fragrance or taste, because I don't know, my stomach kind of can be sensitive when it comes to taste. If I taste something and it makes my stomach jump, I don't want to use it. I actually had more issues with the flavor scent of the mint chocolate one than the bubblegum. The bubblegum, they had bubblegum, and I think it was popcorn was the other option, and I was like, there's no way I'm doing popcorn, that's just not happening. And I'm like, you know, bubblegum, it's probably not going to be that great. I love this. The scent of it is almost like cotton candy. It's not bubblegum. It's very light. It's very, very good. It doesn't overpower you. This was fantastic. The mint chocolate chip one, to me it was too much like e.l.f. It was $1.50, and I think the e.l.f. one is $2 or $3, but the scent of this was so ick that no, I can't. The bubblegum one was $3, so it was twice the price. It has 0.56 ounces of these granules in here. This is going to last me a long time, and I actually liked the way this smelled. I liked the way it performed, and I liked everything about it, which shocked me. I did not think I was going to like it, and I did. They also have a gel lip patch that is $1.50. This is supposed to be like the lip masks you put on, the sheet masks, but because this is gel, I wasn't too big of a fan. I ended up not being able to keep it on my lips long enough because it literally like slid down my face. It slid down. So I had to keep pulling it back up to my lips, and then it would slide down again. The flavor I got was cranberry. Cranberry actually was a pretty good flavor. I don't think the scent of it or the taste of it was bad. I thought it did a decent job with hydrating, but not the greatest, probably because, again, I got kind of frustrated with it. After it slid off a few times, I think I made it like maybe 5 to 7 minutes with it on before I just went, I'm sick of doing this, and pulled it off. So that's my only complaint, but for $1.50 per one, it's something that's worth at least a try to see if it works for you. They had 2 different types of eye patches, and they do 2 different things. This one is a cucumber eye stark circle reliever. This product is basically the same as one that I bought in the drugstore when I was in high school, and I thought it was made by Pond's, but I might be wrong. That was like this little circle, and it looked like a cucumber slice, and you would put it over your eyes and you would lay with it on, and it was supposed to work magic. Now I don't know if it works magic, but this was only $1.50, and it's basically the same product. It's a circle, it's soaked in cucumber water, it looks like a cucumber, it's basically the same thing. They're $1.50. I remember when I bought them from the drugstore when I was a teenager, they were actually really expensive, and I think I had to wait for them to be on sale and to have a coupon because I couldn't afford it. These are only $1.50, and you get 6 of them in here. It does basically the same thing. It didn't irritate my eyes, which I'm always the worst with eye masks. They really irritate my eyes a lot. This didn't do it. I think it's an excellent choice. Again, it's so much cheaper. I don't know if that other one is still on the market. The one that, again, is cucumber, watery, looks like a cucumber slice. You plop it on your eyes. I'm not sure if that's even on the market anymore, but this is seriously the same thing at a much, much cheaper price. And then same thing with these vitamin E under eye patches. Those are, they're just basically like the other masks that you leave under your eyes. It's a little patch, and you wait 10 to 15 minutes and then you take it off, and it's supposed to help with your circles, with any wrinkling, all that kind of thing. If your eyes are puffy, I tend to use them when I'm about to film or when I'm going to be going out and I know I'm going to be photographed before I put my makeup on. I'll throw some eye patches on. But again, these little guys are $1.50, and there are 15 pairs in here. 15 of them for $1.50. I do not know of any other under eye mask, sheet mask, that is that cheap. They have these nose strips, which have aloe in them. They are the same as the Biore strips that you put on your nose to pull out anything clogging your pores. They are only $1.50. They worked exactly the same. They look the same. I saw no difference at all. At all. Maybe from like the charcoal ones or the deep cleaning ones, the ones that are more specialized. But of the regular Biore strip, exactly the same product. Exactly the same product. They have a few varieties of clay masks. They are $1 a pouch. I have used them and they seem to work just as well as the much more expensive clay masks you'd buy, say, at Sephora. For $1 each, and they're sort of single use. It depends on how much you end up using. If you used only half of the pack, you could put it into a Ziploc bag and use it a second time. But for a single use, $1, they had one that's heat. They have one that's soothing. There might have been other varieties. I think there were. I'm trying to think from the store. But they were just excellent. They were so good. So I'm going to keep stocking up on these and throw these on when I'm not in the mood for a sheet mask. I think I was able to get a really good sampling of the makeup they sell. They happen to be putting a ton of their makeup on clearance, so I was able to get some stuff for even cheaper than they normally would be. So I'm going to kind of work through the things that are on my face right now with you. I'm going to start with my lips, which are nice and bright and pink. This is their lip lacquer. It works a lot like that new NYX one that just came out. You click the bottom, which you can see I kind of did accidentally because I got a nice big dollop on there. But you click the bottom and then it comes out and then you put it on with the applicator. This is very good. As you can see, it's super, super pigmented. It's very, very long wearing. It is soft and comfortable. It's got a little bit of a sheen to it. It's a really good product. They had actually clearanced this. The regular price of this was $3. They clearanced it for 50 cents. The eyeliner is another thing I think is absolutely fantastic, especially because they have metallic ones. The one that I have is this metallic-y coppery eyeliner. Its exact name is Metallic Eyes. It's just a metallic-y coppery eyeliner, the kind of eyeliner I gravitate towards and always want to keep buying. This was $2.50. It's a gel formula. It's a little harder to work with than a lot of the other gel formulas I've used. It also has a little bit more sparkle in it than I necessarily would want in an eyeliner. But again, I keep coming back to the same thing. It's good. It's not anything I would throw out. I'm actually going to keep this one and keep using it in my rotation. And it was only $2.50. I got this highlighting strobing kit as well. This was another one that was clearanced. It comes with this little trio. It also comes with this super teeny cute brush that actually is a decent brush to come with something like this. I was totally expecting this brush to be terrible, and it's not. It's a synthetic brush. It's got the good curve to it. It's very soft, and it actually works. So I'm actually gonna definitely hang on to that brush. As for the trio, they give you a mirror that's a decent size. They also give you this little chart telling you where to put everything. I don't really follow the little chart, if I'm completely honest. There is a bronze, a white, and a pink. Of the three, I think my favorite is the rosy one. That's the one I have on right now. The center one that's kind of white was a little too icy for me. It was just, it was too white. And the bronze was just a tiny bit too bronze, but it wasn't bronzy enough where I would say, hey, let's throw that on as a contour or use it as a bronzer itself. It was too sheer for that. This was also clearanced, so it was regularly $4.50. It was reduced down to $2. The pink one does not work well on its own as a blush. There's not enough pigment in it. There's not enough color. It's way too sheer. But as a highlighter that's going along with your blush, it works fantastically. And that one's called Blossom. The white one was called Beam, and the more bronzy one's called Buff. Again, I'm not anti, but it wasn't my favorite product. My eyeshadow is almost entirely from this palette called Havana. It was regularly $7 and now it's $3. They also have this one called Prism that I picked up, which was also regularly $7 and reduced to $3. They each contain a range of shadows. They give you the plastic thing to tell you the names of each of them, so you have an idea. Havana is very much the nudes, the bronzes. It's got a couple of more. It's got this blue in here that's a little bit more fun. The mattes in this are okay. They're not great, but the shimmers are excellent. They're very soft. They seem to blend very, very well. And the same thing with Prism. Even though Prism for me is a lot less usable, I don't tend to do really bright eyes all the time. I tend to be more about my lips than my eyes. I did do a look with the purples and pinks in here that I really liked, but these seem to be a better quality than Havana was. I don't know why. Usually it's the other way around. Usually the bright shadows are the ones that have terrible quality, and it's the more natural looking ones that are okay. The opposite here, but for $3, give it a try. It just works fantastically. The last product I have on my face right now is their Lash Out Mascara. I'm not totally thrilled with it. I feel like it doesn't do enough. It is inexpensive. It's $3. It has this sort of wiry kind of bristled brush. Again, I feel like I've been using some fantastic mascaras lately, and this just didn't hold water to them. They have a kiss-proof liquid matte lip. I am not a fan. It smells absolutely awful. You know that smell when you walk into a car garage and they're like changing people's tires and stuff, that like really rubbery kind of gritty, oily smell? That's exactly what this smells like. This was very expensive for me. The regular price was $3. It was clearanced at 50 cents. The color I used was Metal, which was a goldish, bronzy kind of pink. It dried, it broke, it cracked. It was just a mess. It was not even worth the 50 cents. And likewise, their lip gloss, which was $1, which you'd think, okay, it's $1. It's so sheer. It doesn't deliver even coloring. It doesn't last at all. It's worth saving your $1. I don't want you guys to even waste $1, if I'm honest. They have several different kinds of lipsticks. The lipsticks are all 90 cents. It's a mixed bag. This one called Blush that I got is very, very sheer, very natural looking. I liked this one, but the other color I bought is this Pink Lemonade. This was pure chalk. It went on just so dry and like just caked and just awful. However, they are 90 cents. This one was a little spotty and super sheer. Then this one was sort of, again, chalky and overly pink and just not the greatest. The blush they have, which is $3, the color I have is Rosewood. They call this high pigment. It is more than high pigment. It's like super pigment. The color was so bright pink, it did not work on my face. It did not. However, I think if you have darker skin than I do, it might work well for you. It is super, super pigmented. You have to go very lightly with your brush to make sure you're not overloading it. But for $3, like I said, if you have a darker skin coloring than I do, it might work for you. They have a brow kit I was able to get, which has a brown wax on one side, a dark brown powder in the middle, and then this highlighter. I did not use the highlighter. It was way too like purpley, and I never usually touch the wax, to be honest. It's just not my thing with my brows. It comes with some pretty decent little tiny tools in with it, which again, impressed. It comes with this tiny little synthetic double-sided brush that's actually not the worst for picking up brow powder. And it comes with these teeny little flathead tweezers. I don't know why, but for $3, thank you. The color and pigment in this was a little dark for my taste. They did have other options, so again, for $3, this, if you're looking for something like that, is good. They have an eyeshadow primer that is $3.50. To me, this was almost identical in every way to the Ulta store brand primer. It has the same consistency. It's a very dry application. It looks like the same color. Everything looks very, very, very similar to everything that the Ulta one is, the Ulta collection one is. This one, however, is only $3.50, infinitely cheaper. So if you're a fan of the Ulta one and you can get to a Primark, this would save you quite a bit of money. The last thing I'm reviewing is this concealer they had, which is their CC concealer. It's supposed to be anti-dullness, anti-matte. It's supposed to be a brightening. It's purple. It's the same like the lip that I'm wearing right now. You click the bottom and it comes up into the brush. I actually didn't like this. It was very thick. It was very much almost like a paste, which is not my kind of concealer. I also don't really use a purple concealer. I'll use a green if I need to, and I'll use like a peach. I don't really like purple. However, this was like the only concealer I could find in the store that I would actually purchase. So this was regularly $3.50. They had it clearanced for 50 cents, and I kind of understood why. I also picked up this, and I have not tested it yet, Holographic Lip Kit. This is a gloss, a lip pencil, and sparkles and glitter that you're supposed to be able to put on to make your lip look like that. They had a couple of colors. This was the one that to me seemed like the most I would wear. $4.50 for the entire kit. I'm going to actually do a video coming up in the future where I test this out on camera, which is why I haven't tested it out yet. So that is coming. On the whole, if you only had $10 in your pocket and you had to choose between the makeup or the skincare, I would say go towards the skincare. The skincare was much more consistent in terms of the quality. The pricing is much better. It was just it seems like they spent more time and energy and money on the skincare than they did on the cosmetics. So if you had to pick between the two, I would spend my money there. All of these products, makeup and skincare, are all made in South Korea. I think that's also why the skincare is so much better, because South Korean skincare products are fantastic. And so there's a little bit of that rub off coming from them to here. I like that they're made in South Korea. A lot of the really super cheap cosmetics are made in China. These aren't. So that's an extra bonus right there. The shade ranges are really limited. There were some products like the lipsticks that had a better range of colors. You know, I wasn't able to find something that would be more foundation-y or more regular concealer. I didn't even find anything like a powder that would come in my color. Things like the blush, I only had 2 options, so I picked the one I thought would be better, and it didn't work out that way. At least with the makeup, the range is really small in terms of color variation. When they do clearance their makeup, it is super, super cheap compared to what they were regularly charging for them, which was cheap to begin with. So it's worth checking out the clearance section. But just like I said in my TJ Maxx and Marshalls video, you really need to be careful with this. Some jerks are standing there with like all the concealers and opening them all up and putting them back, like pulling the cellophane off and then putting it back, and then pulling the cellophane off and putting it back, taking one, putting all the concealer out of it and then putting it back. Like, I had to fight through the thing to find ones that weren't opened. And that was true of a lot of the products, like the lip products, all of the lip products, the mascara, even the eyeshadow palettes. It was the same thing. I was fighting to find ones that hadn't been used by other people. I don't care how cheap it is. If someone else has used it, don't buy it, because you could get an infection from them, and that would be far worse than paying a little more for a product that hasn't been opened. So don't even try it. It's just, it's not worth it. I hope this gave you a really good overview of some of the options at Primark. Again, I think the skincare is phenomenal. Phenomenal. That's where, if you're gonna spend your money, spend it on the skincare, because it's really, really good. Again, the makeup can be hit or miss. You can find something really awesome and you can find something really, really terrible. And you don't really know until you buy it because, you know, you can't really test it out in the store. Unless you're one of those jerks who opens it, tests it out, and puts it back. That's such a pet peeve of mine. Such a pet peeve. But I hope this video was helpful. If you've never bought anything from a Primark and you have one near you, I say go in there, check out every section of the store. It's basically a very small department store with massive range of products. It's incredible. Especially baby stuff is super inexpensive. Home stuff, awesome, super inexpensive. So I hope this gives you some options. Next month, I'm going to be getting all of the makeup I can from Forever 21. That's their brand, not other brands that they're carrying, and try to test that out and give you my same kind of generalized opinion. If this was helpful, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and if you haven't done so, please subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it was a long one, so if you stuck it all the way to the end, you get extra thanks. I'll talk to you soon.